Hey, welcome to Burress Law, Life, and Friends, the fastest growing podcast in America. I'm your host, Jason Burress, and today my very special guest, Jennifer Irwin.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Jen Irwin.
I'm here. You got me on camera. Not many people get me on camera.
Okay, so let's get the particulars out of the way. You are technically a replacement guest.
Yep, I'm the second best.
the supposed guest, the supposed to be guest, I should say, got COVID. So a COVID scratch. Our first COVID scratch.
I should feel lucky, I guess.
But if you think about it, you're the first non-legal guest.
Am I the first female too?
Yeah, I think you're the first female because George Fuller said he might go to law school. I'm going to technically call him a legal guest. But okay, so you're the first non-law guest, but yet you're a replacement. How do you feel about that?
I feel second best, Jason. Okay. I don't feel first loved.
Well, but in fairness, you were on my list. I have a list. I've emailed it to myself 4 months ago.
I'm pretty sure you used that just to get me on today. Pretty sure.
True. That's not true. I can show you offline. You're on the list. You're on the list.
But again, I'm going to get a really good Christmas gift for this.
You have advised me that I'm getting you a very good Christmas gift. So you're nervous. You told me.
A little bit.
And this is like 3 guests in a row that have told me I'm nervous about it.
I have a fear of cameras. I don't like them.
Which with your personality, it's very strange to me.
I'm good in a group of 10. Group of more than 10, I'm out.
Yeah, I feel you a little bit there.
A little socially awkward.
Yeah, I'm a little more of an introvert. People don't realize that. But.
Yeah, I always look like an extrovert because I think the louder I am, maybe the less attention people will pay for it. I don't know.
Yeah, you're very effective.
Thanks.
So let's get right into it. I want to get into kind of what makes you you. You
sure you want to dive into that?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Full disclosure, you and I have been friends a long time.
We have. We have probably 10 years.
Yeah, probably at least. So I've always known that you're really close to your grandparents, but I've not, we've not talked about too many particulars. And I'm assuming you probably know I was very close to mine.
I do. Okay. I love my grandparents.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the story. I'd like to hear the closeness.
They're probably my favorite people in the world, besides my kids and my husband now. But growing up, they were my favorites. My grandpa was always a phone call away. He was always supportive and always my best advocate. And my grandma always was just the mom figure of the matriarch of our entire family. I mean, my grandparents have 8 children and I don't even know how many grandchildren now and great grandchildren. And they're home. Like just hearing their voice and walking in, they're home. Yeah. What about, I know that your grandparents were super special to you and did they feel the same to you, home?
Yeah. In fact, I've got my grandmother's home, my grandparents' home.
Right.
And so, every time I walk through those doors, it's just an amazing feeling.
It is. It's like a weight lifts off your shoulders. And I know my grandma's going to cook for me and my grandpa's probably going to go get 42 donuts for us in the morning for no reason. But yeah, it's just an amazing feeling. I think we always did our big Christmases and our Thanksgivings and all of that at their house. And everybody was just there. Yeah. And it was just a sense of love the minute you walk in the door.
So I'm guessing your grandparents must be pretty young. What age are they?
So they're 83 and 84, I believe.
Okay.
They're going to be mad at me if I'm wrong on that.
And you're 20 and you're 25, so
exactly.
I'm trying to do the math here.
Yeah. I'm close to 25 or maybe 13 years different, something like that. But who's doing math?
At your age, whatever your age may or may not be, that's pretty spectacular that you've still got grandparents.
So I haven't seen my grandparents in almost a year since last Christmas, I believe.
Very unusual.
It's very unusual. They come here a lot. We go there a lot. Summer breaks, I usually take my kids and my cousin's kids to my grandparents' house for the summer, and being a realtor, I kind of have a flexible schedule and I can kind of fit some things in. And so I usually take my cousin's son and my daughters and we hang out there. And this year we didn't. Obvious reasons are COVID and they're in their 80s. And so we just decided that I will be going for Christmas break. I'm going to take my kids. We're going to get COVID tested before we go and we're going to drive, be very safe because I'm scared to death of being the one that infects my grandparents with COVID. But I also miss them dearly. So we need a trip to see them.
Sure. Where are they again?
New Mexico, Hobbs, New Mexico. So just right across the border of West Texas.
Okay. So how long does that take you? 7 hours?
About 8 hours.
8 hours? Okay. Okay.
Well, I take kids with me though. So we all know that adds an hour.
Oh, yeah.
At least an hour.
We went to New Mexico last Christmas and there's no question it adds an hour.
Yeah. Well, yeah, potty breaks and we need a lot of food, a lot of snacks.
Perfect segue. Food, snacks.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
We've got to talk about diets. We've got to talk about diets and exercise. Can I just
diet saga after COVID?
Okay, let me just start this off. This is my this is my J. Irwin outline. Mm-hmm. And if you look, it is on a
food receipt.
Chick-fil-A receipt from today. And do you see that? You see what the price is?
$2.11. What'd you get? Price?
So I thought I was getting the meal, but she rang it up as the entree, the 8-piece chicken nugget, and then I got an iced tea, and then I was like, oh, that price is too low, and so you get up to you have to order in the line,
right,
the drive-through. And I get to the next guy who is selling something. He was selling like Chick-fil-A Christmas balls. And I just said, hey, I think they didn't take down the meal. And he looks and he goes, they absolutely didn't do that. And I go, okay, well, how do we got to fix this? Because we definitely got to fix this. So I had to add the fries. And then he goes, what size do you want? Do you want medium or large? And I mean, I couldn't say large, but I could say
the bigger one.
Surprise me.
Of course, they're going to upcharge you. They're not going to be like, we're just going to get the lesser.
So I thought it was funny. I thought I'm going to put my little outline together, and I thought, what better to put it on the Chick-fil-A supplemental receipt.
Perfect.
So I had my weight right where I wanted it. I was fit. I was fit as a fiddle.
And then COVID hit.
And then COVID hit and I got worried and I started eating again. And I did a podcast for a buddy yesterday. I looked back at the video and it looked like my head was like 2 of what it's supposed to be.
I got like 3 chins right now.
I mean, it's very tough.
Well, I told you before today, but I'll tell you again. We bought a Peloton. I bought a Peloton because I thought it was the cure-all, be-all for COVID. I got this. I'm going to order a Peloton and I'll be fine during COVID. Well, I ordered a Peloton and I rode it approximately 4 times. And for some reason, I didn't lose any weight.
Son of a gun.
Gosh, I rode that thing 4 times and I paid for it. Should have lost some weight, but I didn't. So I gained a lot of weight instead. I ate a lot. I drank a lot of adult beverages because I was bored.
It's a pandemic.
It was boring.
It's kind of an issue of first impression. Like how you deal with these things is not a reflection of you. I mean, you've got, if it was a reflection
of me, I'm not doing okay. And I was super busy at work too, which is really odd that during a pandemic, I sold a bunch of houses. But so I was at home a lot with the kids. We were not eating good. We were having fun, drinking some adult beverages at night. The food trucks were coming to our neighborhood. We were stocking up on those. Mi Casino was really popular in our neighborhood.
Mambo taxi.
And that comes with a Mambo taxi or 2.
All right.
And so, the calories just were coming in and my Peloton sitting upstairs was not working for me. So in the last 8 days, I've rode that Peloton more than I did during the entire time right after I bought it. And so my husband's Mr. Fitness King. He runs every day.
Screw him.
I know. He makes
my wife too, by the way.
He makes it look so easy. And I'm like, whatever. I'm going to go eat. You have fun running. And so I did that and he did what he did and it worked out better for him.
Well, so because I'm about to do what we call a reboot.
Yeah.
All right. So you did a reboot 8 days ago.
I started.
Saw it on social media. What causes the reboot? Like it's time for the reboot.
Oh, the mirror. The mirror told me to do it.
Okay.
We went to the Gaylord recently, and my husband took a picture of me, and I was like, "Who's that woman in that picture? That's not me."
Yeah.
I don't have that many chins, but apparently I do. So I just decided, you know what? This is not me. But I was not against men, but I was at lunch with a friend today who is a man, and he told me, "How much weight do you want to lose?" I'm like 20, 25 pounds. And he said, "Oh, you can do that like in a month. That's easy."
Why would Hazelwood say this?
Right. And I'm like looking at him because men can starve themselves for 5 days and lose 10 pounds. Women can starve themselves for 10 days and gain 5 pounds. Not fair. It's not fair. But I ran a whole mile and a half for the first time in months without stopping. And I've been riding my bike about 5 to 6 miles a day. So the Peloton, I just got a Peloton treadmill too, because apparently the more Pelotons I buy, the more weight I'm going to lose.
So I don't know anything about the Peloton treadmill. Explain to the audience what the deal is.
Okay, it's super cool.
And
It's a lot like the bike. So you have a trainer with you the whole time you're running, which is motivational. Obviously, they're kind of telling you what to do, the incline to put it on, the pace to put it on. And it's also rubber. So, for us aging people, it's easier on your knees. So it's not like running outside. And also outside, you tell yourself to quit a million times because you're tired. Well, on the treadmill, you have somebody telling you not to quit because you're not tired. And so it actually was easier than running outside. My husband loves to run outside, and he'll go run a bazillion miles and he's still smiling. And by the time I get off, I'm like, ugh, this is hard. But the treadmill just seemed so much easier on my body. It was just easier.
Running outside is risky too.
Yeah, I don't want to get hit by a car.
Well, not only that, but I was running.
You might want me to get hit by a car.
I'll give you a couple business cards afterwards. No, I'm running in Adriatica a couple years ago, and there's this bridal photography session out there, and I was running by, and I was doing my little wave like a model.
Did you trip?
I tripped. I didn't just trip on this stupid. There was like an edge on the sidewalk. I went over like this. Like it was like a car crash.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
All of a sudden, the bridal photography group that I was just, I was waving and doing my model wave, they're now rushing over to try to save my life.
Yeah,
it was
running
totally
outside is embarrassing. Like people see you. Every time I run outside, somebody says, "You're doing a good job today." They'll text me. I'm like, no, I wasn't. I look like death and a slow turtle. Like, not okay that you're watching me. Yeah. So the privacy of my own home on a bike and a treadmill. I'm not much of a gym person because I talk a lot. So if I go, I'm not going to get a lot done because I'm going to find one person to talk to. And B, I don't want people watching me. Like, I'm trying to do my best, but let's face it, it's not pretty.
Do you have goals though? Do you do like I'm trying to lose inches, I'm trying to lose pounds, or I'm trying to just feel better? What do you want?
So I think the older I get, my goals have changed. Like used to, it's like I want to be skinny, I want to look hot, I want to be pretty, and now I just want to be able to wake up in the morning and feel okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just want to get through the day with my kids and go play with them outside and not say, "Mommy's got to sit down for a minute." Yeah. So I think age changes you. So right now, I just want to feel better, have more energy, not have to have a Red Bull in the middle of the day. I am an addict.
Yeah. Are you?
Oh, yeah.
I've never had a Red Bull in my life.
I can have 2 a day, and it does not faze me.
I had one, what is it, like a 4-hour energy?
Right.
You know what night I had it?
What night?
My wedding night. That is a true story.
You didn't want to go to sleep on the dance floor?
I was tired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your wife is a lot younger, right?
She is a little bit younger. Let's not get carried away. She's a little bit younger.
Yeah, a lot younger.
She's a little bit younger. A little bit younger. So let's talk about careers. Before real estate, we'll get into real estate, but you had an important position at Baylor Hospital.
So I was in marketing before real estate, and I was at the marketing. So each hospital is different, but they called it the marketing manager. I was over marketing at Baylor. And before that, I was the marketing and community relations director at another hospital, at HCA Hospital. And so I love the hospital world. I thought I would be in the hospital forever. I loved it. Loved it.
So HCA is what?
Well, now it's Medical Center. City McKinney. Yeah.
Okay. But you were at Baylor too.
Yeah. So I was at Medical Center McKinney, and then I was at Baylor. I helped open Baylor McKinney with an amazing team. I mean, Kelly Meyer was the marketing director over multiple hospitals, and then Scott Peak was the president. It was an amazing team. It was once in a lifetime opportunity to open a hospital. We worked a lot.
So you made the decision to leave.
I did, and believe me, everybody I worked with was very surprised. My husband works in the car business. And he works a lot of hours and a lot of days. He works 6 days a week. And so I was working 6 days a week, and we had a nanny picking up our daughter from daycare. And I said, you know what? One of us should be at home with her, not working all the time. So I made the decision that I was going to cut back. And I kind of did some freelance marketing work with a small surgery center and some other stuff. And then one night, Dan and I were talking, and I was like, I really like real estate. I like decorating. I like doing, we had a couple of rental houses. I was like, maybe I'll get my real estate license. So we kind of did the math, and we said, well, if you sell 5 houses a year, we can keep the kids in daycare, because I didn't want to take my kids away from that social atmosphere that they were used to. It would be different for them. And, not them, just one kid, because I was pregnant at the time, and with my second. And I said, you know what, I can sell 5 houses a year. That won't be hard. And everything's history from there. I don't sell 5 houses a year anymore. I kind of didn't do that the first year. But so yeah, it was mainly for my family, and it still is for my family. I work a lot of hours, but it's super flexible. And so my one goal was to pick up my kids from school every day. And I still do that 90% of the time. Because there's something about them running to you after school, and they're so excited to see you. My elementary kids are still that way. I'm sure when they get to junior high, they won't want me picking them up anymore. But right now, they still run to me, and they're super excited.
So what areas do you service, like locale?
So I stick to Northern Collin County a lot. That's my main bread and butter. But I've ventured out. I've done everything from Mansfield to Howe to Cedar Creek Lake to, I've kind of gone all over the place. For residential, your everyday home, I'd like to stick to Northern Collin County unless you're a dear friend. But I've grown a fondness for lake properties recently, because my husband and I have been looking for one for quite a while. And as you know, I want a fixer-upper, and he's kind of out on that. So once we can merge our wants together, we'll find the perfect one. But I honestly just love helping families. So it's kind of like the people whom I love or fall in love with, because they all become my family. Wherever they're looking, I'll follow them.
Yeah. So I've never understood all the awards, like in real estate, they have these, double diamond, triple platinum,
top producer,
and sometimes it can be a little misleading, I think. At least I've been told that.
They can.
But you kick butt. Everybody knows you kick butt.
Some of them are purchased and some of them are not. Like if you purchase ads, you can get more, recognition from certain publications. But at the end of the day, it's kind of word of mouth. I get way more from my word of mouth than recognitions ever could be. 100% of my business this year has come from past clients or friends.
Gosh, today there's a client of mine. He's been a client twice, and like with me, you don't want to be a client once.
No, you definitely don't.
Yeah, sure don't want to do it twice. And this is the 3rd time, and so he calls today, and I haven't talked to him, but our team talked to him, and they're like, "What do you think? Case is a little bit smaller than what we normally take." And I'm like, "Look, if it's a referral or if it's a past client coming back, you have to take that. You have to do that
for sure.
Because it just matters. You don't want to send that client somewhere else.
No, because they're your family,
Right.
and they're friends and family of somebody that you've adopted as family. I had one this year. Super cool story. In fact, I cried at their closing. They didn't cry. I cried. They were the first people in the first generation of their family to own a home.
Wow.
It was the super coolest thing. It was probably my favorite closing of all year, and the least expensive house I sold all year. But oh my gosh, it was the coolest story. I literally cried all the way there, cried in closing, and cried all the way home, and have really kept in touch with their family. And I mean, it's cool stories like that that make working more hours worth it, you know? When I tell people that my clients become my family, I'm not lying. They do. They call me for, decoration advice, because let's face it, I love to decorate. And we just stay in touch. And I have one that I sold her house, and we're waiting for her new construction to finish up. And she called me and she said, I just haven't talked to you this week. It feels weird not talking to you this week. So I thought I'd call you. And I was like, oh, thank you. Because I feel weird calling you because I don't have a reason, but I miss them. I miss talking to people. So yeah, I think that real estate merged my marketing capabilities and my relationship goals in life. I mean, I just love people.
Yeah. So how has COVID affected your business, if any?
So crazy. Real estate's booming right now. My husband and I are actually very blessed because we're in two businesses that are booming. I think anything recreational or anything like that is just doing really well. So I've absolutely killed my goals this year. I've sold over 40 homes this year, several of them being recreational homes like lake houses or homes with pools. People really want those things because I think the more you're locked into your home, the more you know how you use it and utilize it better. And so people want those pools. They want that backyard space. They want recreational homes, second homes. Sold multiple second homes this year because if you can't vacation, why not have a second home that you can go to?
But if COVID has caused such a financial catastrophe, which you at least hear on the news, how is real estate and new car sales, how are they both booming?
Well, let's face it, interest rates are super low.
Okay.
We're in a very lucky environment in North Texas. We all know that.
We're a little insulated.
Yeah, we are insulated for sure. We're in a booming environment, and business is doing good here. Texas really hasn't slowed down as much as other states have, thank goodness. So I think all that combined together, interest rates being lower, people are able to sell their homes for more, so they're upgrading their homes. We have people moving in from other states, especially California right now, for morals and values. For sure, I've heard that multiple times this year that they're moving from California for different morals and values. So I think just all of that combined together just helps our real estate market here for sure.
Is there still, because I was told that there was a low inventory. Is that still the case?
Yes. To give you a prime example, listed a house a couple of weeks ago. We had 57 showings in 24 hours, and we got 7 offers that first day.
Gosh, that's amazing.
So yeah, just
probably close to asking price, right?
We're a little over. But yeah, I mean, it's just a crazy market, and people are also buying homes for rental properties right now. So they're looking for investment properties. I think sometimes people forget that realtors do that too. Investment properties, second homes, and just your prime everyday home.
Well, and you've got experience with flipping homes.
We do. My husband and I have flipped a couple of homes. Our last one was a lot. There was everything wrong with it from the foundation to the roof. We knew all of that when we bought it, but my husband said, maybe it's time for a little break. The problem with us is we're very hands-on, and we try to do a lot of it ourselves because we know that we can make a bigger profit from doing a lot ourselves, and we are handy that way. So,
and by we mean Dan's has to be really handy.
I'm super good at managing. Super good at managing.
Delegating.
Yep, delegating. I'm all good at that. So our last one was a bit much. So I think he's ready again, though. But so? I think it has to be a lake property.
A lake property.
I think so. Okay. And he's told me already he will not do a single thing to it. I'll have to find some good contractors.
Got to get a make ready. Yeah. So if somebody is looking to sell real estate, any advice on what to do? Like, should they, everything went gray and then everything went white and everything's against tan. Should someone getting ready to sell, should they go repaint their house? Should they go paint their cabinets white? Tell me about that.
First thing they should do is call a seasoned realtor to come in and tell them what to do. Don't start upgrading your house on things that you think people will like. We know what people like. We're in it. We're in the weeds every day. And most seasoned realtors will say, let me walk through your house and tell you what to do before you do it. And if you're building a new home, please don't customize everything. Your furniture, your artwork, stuff like that is what's made to personalize your house. Do neutrals on your walls, on your cabinetry, on your countertops. The more neutral, that means you're opening up your buyer pool more. If you start being specific on like taste specific items, if you're super specific on your taste, then you're not going to open it up. It's like marketing. So you want to market it to everybody, not to one person.
So don't do orange ceilings and murals on all the sidewalls.
No, let's not do that. White, grays, stuff like that. That's stick to that. Even the greiges, if you're more on the beige side, you can do like a light greige. Don't do super dark stuff. I do have a black dining room because I like the color black, so I painted the walls black. It looks really good. It's contrasted with white, but I'd probably paint it before I put it up for sale. So if you're doing those taste-specific things like a purple or pink in your daughter's room or something like that, just know you probably should paint it before you list your house. Paint, carpet, window cleaning, deep cleaning, those are things you're going to get 100% back. So do it. Do it before you list.
So what about landscaping? Like, oh, I've got the backyard. I haven't gotten it landscaped very well. I'm going to put 4 trees back there and a bed. And is that generally a good idea?
Sounds familiar. Have you done that before?
It does sound familiar.
It depends. It really depends. Like say that you've listed your house for 30 to 45 days and you see the comments are saying there's not enough privacy in the backyard. Or your realtor says, hey, you have this beautiful house and there's not enough privacy in your backyard. That house is looking directly into your house. Yes, add the trees. Add the trees. It's going to be beneficial. But if you're looking to just add some pops in the backyard, don't do it. Make sure your grass isn't dead because let's face it, lots of people are building pools right now. They're probably going to dig that up when they move in. So don't do something that they're going to dig up later. But do something that benefits the house overall, the property overall. And a seasoned realtor can tell you that.
Okay. So, I was a recruiter before I was...
I didn't know that.
Yep. Before I went to law school, I was a recruiter. And I kind of feel like real estate is a lot like recruiting. Like nobody goes into high school and then goes to college thinking, I want to be a recruiter or I want to be a realtor. I mean, it just never happens.
If you would have told me that I was going to be a realtor 10 years ago, I would have told you, you're crazy. I'm on my career path. I'm doing good.
Yeah, but yet it can be a great career.
It was meant for me. I was meant for real estate. I didn't know it, but I thought I would give it a try, and I realized I'm meant for it.
So for especially the ladies who are, maybe thinking about making a move or maybe those who have, one of the things I worry about having a younger sister, very attractive sister, you worry about, putting your picture on signs and you worry about safety. And of course, and I don't want to get too far into it.
That's funny that you say that. Putting my picture on my sign was like a big deal. That was also, 25, 30 pounds ago. But as we go back to the working out piece, COVID did that. But it was a very big consideration. I didn't know which way to go because it is a relationship building business and you are the face of your business. So you want people to recognize you, but you also don't want creepy people to recognize you. So it was, I went back and forth on it. And ultimately I decided to put my picture on my signs because you can Google me and find my picture. Like I just decided, you know what, you can Google my name, you can look on my Facebook page. I'm very open about my life. So ultimately I decided to put my picture on the sign, and it was hard. It was a hard decision. And it was one that I made with my husband. I think it was, something we talked about for a long time before I got my signs. But there is a scary component to being a realtor because you're going into homes with people that ultimately you don't know. So I always require a pre-approval before I go into a home with somebody. And I tell my husband exactly where I am at all times. If I'm going to show a house and I don't know the person, I tell him the name of the person and I tell him what the address is. And then I turn on tracking on my phone so he can track me at all times.
Okay.
There's also been one where I was super scared because they weren't responding, and he turned out to be a police officer. He was perfectly safe, but I just wasn't getting the good vibes. And so I actually called my husband and had him on speakerphone so he could just listen to everything. Once I saw the badge, I was completely felt okay. But as a woman, it's scary.
And for the audience, there really are creepy people.
Yeah. There was just a recent, I can't remember what state it is, but a woman was showing or doing an open house and she got beat up pretty badly.
When there was a murder in McKinney.
Collin County, in McKinney off Custer. That was before I was a realtor, but yeah, it's a very real thing. It's not something that we're just scared to be scared. It's very much a reality.
I like what you do, what your husband does. Tracking and
he's actually showed up at houses before and just been parked outside waiting for me to come out, and I love that. Like it makes me feel safer to know if I see his car outside. I just feel better. All my clients are referral basis. I don't do a lot of advertising. It's all word of mouth. So there's not a whole lot that I'm scared of because I do know them very well before I even meet them in person. Usually I've had about 10 phone calls with them, but there are open houses and just people that sign call. They're driving by one of your listings and they want to see the house. Those are scary. They can be scary. So you just have to be safe at all times.
So speaking of scary, you know my wife pretty well.
She can be scary. No, just kidding.
Y'all are very good friends.
We are. I love Christina.
And she has hired you to help us on some real estate projects along the way for sure.
She has. I'm not scared of her during real estate though.
But you mentioned Lake House. So yeah, you helped us recently.
I did. That was awesome. Kind of, except for the day that you called me and said it didn't appraise, but it did. That was a dirty trick. You want to tell them what happened? Yeah. So Jason calls. Did you call me or text me? No, you called me, and you said, just so you know, I got the appraisal back, and it was low. It was really low, and I'm like, oh, that can happen in lake properties. And I'm saying that out loud to him as I'm throwing stuff across the room and saying some cuss words underneath my breath. And I'm like, how? I ran the numbers every which way. And I said it was like $100,000. Yeah. Like this thing wasn't even within $100,000. To you, I say, oh, okay. Okay, we can take care of that. And in my mind, I'm like, what is happening? We got a good deal on it. I ran the numbers multiple times. And so what happened next? You were mad because I didn't overreact. Yes, she doesn't overreact. I get off the phone. I'm frustrated. I'm like, I should have said $250,000. Right. I should have said it was really overpriced. But in my head, I was saying all the words you wanted me to say out loud. But no, you found, well, you didn't find it. Me and Christina found the best property. But the funniest part is we almost skipped that property because it goes back to marketing. The pictures were very bad of that house, very bad. And we almost skipped it. And it was the last of the day. And Christina and I were getting tired of driving around. And so we decided to go ahead. And the minute we walked in, we both said, this is it. Both of us knew immediately. And but goes back to marketing 101. If the pictures are bad, we could have skipped that and never known that was going to be your next property. And that's so true because you didn't like it either. No, but I was the one doing all the research. Right. And so I would show Christina, hey, check out this one, check out that one. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even send this one to her because the pictures, I am satisfied
they were taken with an iPhone.
Me too, because that helped you a lot.
Yeah. Well, we'll explain that.
Well, because they didn't get multiple lake properties, recreational properties right now are getting multiple offers because everybody's looking for something to do outside of their number one home where they live full time. And so the lake properties are just insane right now. Well, this property should have gotten multiple offers within hours, but the angles were bad. It just didn't, the pictures were obviously taken with a cell phone.
Dark.
And
they were dark too.
they were very dark. It did not show the house in its perfect light, which it should have, because it's a beautiful property. And so it was beneficial to you in the long run because you didn't have to get into a bidding war, and you actually got it for less than it appraised for. So even though you lied.
The other thing that's kind of interesting is this fellow was a bachelor. The owner was a bachelor, and that gets into bachelors. I don't want to let some cat out of the bag, but we don't always decorate our homes very well. And I'm not saying it was totally poor, but it wasn't. Well,
it was not good.
It was okay. It was okay to me. My wife thought it was horrendous.
It was.
And I think it may have affected the desirability of the home.
So for all of you listening, Jason wanted to keep the recliner, which we did not
wanted
allow.
to keep the recliner.
It was so ugly, so ugly.
Recline.
But this goes back to not only do I offer marketing expertise because that's where my career was, I also love to decorate homes. Christina and I text each other at least 10 times a day about a piece of furniture or something about, do you like this? Do you think this would be better? Well, I stage all of my homes for free. It's complimentary for all of my clients. My 3-car garage that cannot fit a vehicle in it is full of furniture, artwork, wreaths, anything you can imagine, pillows. I probably have 3,000 pillows. Because let's face it, if you stage a home, you're going to sell it for more. It's going to be marketable to more people. And if you do it with modernized things, every 2 years, I get rid of every bit of my staging stuff and bring in new staging stuff. Because if it's currently in the stores, the house looks more modern. You just feel like it's newer. And so that house, pictures and staging, that house would have got multiple offers and you would have walked away because you wouldn't have gotten a good deal.
Yeah, if you were representing him, I would have paid a lot more money because even with my wife being so good at design and decorating, you brought in pieces for our home that you sold.
Oh, yeah. So your home in Prosper? Yep. Mm-hmm. Y'all moved all your stuff out already because y'all had moved, and I completely staged that home.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So
you staged it.
Yep, from a blank canvas. Yeah. That was fun. I do remember though, I was staging your house because it was vacant. Y'all had already moved out. I put my kids to bed and I went over there at about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night to start staging. And my alarm went off on my car. And talk about scary. I called Dan and I made him talk to me all the way to the car. And then my keys were in my car. And Dan's like, why would you leave your keys in your car? And I'm like, I don't know. And the lights on in the car. I'm like, is there somebody in my car? There was nobody in my car and it was completely safe. And I probably set the alarm off myself. But it was a very funny night. But yeah, if it's a vacant home, I'll stage it till 1 or 2 in the morning because that's when I get in my groove.
I'd totally forgotten that we had done that, but maybe that's a sign that you've kind of made it a little bit, because that's the first time that I insisted on moving before selling.
Yeah.
Because that is a beatdown.
That is a beatdown.
To be showing your home, but yet you still live there. I mean, it's
especially when you have kids. There's some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way to teach my clients on how to do things. Baskets. Invest in baskets. Mm-hmm. I can't tell people more. Yeah. So you can pick up your mess, throw it in a basket, put it in a garage, throw a towel over it, and walk away. And then come back out, throw those kids' toys back out, and you're back to where you were.
That's right. And in fairness to us, I mean, we had a newborn.
You had 3 kids. That's a lot to do and move and show your house and have to leave with the 3 kids. It's a lot. So being a mom of 2, I've sold my house with a newborn. I guess she was 1.5, almost 2, and with a 3-year-old. And so I know how it is. So I will do everything possible I can to make it easier because I've been there and I don't like it either. So I will try so hard to help it. I mean, and there's a lot of things we can do to help moving process and a lot of staging things that I've learned along the way to make it easier. So when you do show, you throw some stuff in a basket and walk out, or hide some stuff in the garage. I've learned those along the way because I've been there. I know how it goes.
Well, you know, we buried the lead on the lake house.
Yeah.
Because I thought I found, I did not trust you and I did not trust my wife.
Nope. Jason had to do it all on his own.
And I did the research and I found this home. I was worried about the price. I was very worried about the price, but I found it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing looks really nice.
I'm not going to lie. I had mixed emotions that day because, I mean, when you're trying to double the price on me, I'm like, well, maybe it's okay.
Double the commission, baby. So we head down and we're heading to the home that y'all have picked that y'all say, I'm going to buy. And on the way there, we're going to see this other home that's a lot more money. It's like double the price, close to double the price. And I have brought who I call my special advisor.
Your friend.
Which drives my wife crazy. My special advisor, Clint Leffingwell, he's like Cliff Clavin from Cheers. He like knows everything about everything, and he's that guy.
Mm-hmm. He was trying to ruin my day.
Yeah, so I bring my special advisor because I'm like, I need your help. If things start going bad, I need you to be there.
Christina's got gin, so I need you.
So we walk into this house. I'm for it. Y'all are against it. And then we walk in and things change. So here's what happened. My anxiety started going through the roof because we walk in and I'm loving this very expensive home on Cedar Creek.
It had everything.
Yeah, it was nice.
Boathouse. I mean, it was.
But I'm having all this anxiety, and y'all are going nuts over it. And I heard Christina go, "This is the one. This is the one." And I looked at Clint. And I was like, "Oh no! Oh no!"
You saw dollar signs.
And he was like, "Jay, this is an awesome home." And I was like, "Oh my God, but it's so expensive." And so the real estate lady, I remember she said, she goes, "Now, just so you know, just no surprises. The boathouse is like a foot over into the neighbor's property, but they're good buddies. It's no big deal." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
They made an agreement.
Right.
And for some people that would be okay, but a detail-oriented lawyer does not like that.
Does not like.
The minute she said that to us, your face went white.
Yeah, I just it caused all kinds of consternation. So
the house was beautiful. It was a lot of house though, and
yeah.
And let's face it, the furniture and staging of the house made that house golden.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
But we're
beautiful.
15 minutes in, we're buying that home. That's the deal.
Everybody's ready for that house. I was ready to write a termination on the other home, and we were moving into this house.
And I think it was like the same real estate agency on the other
side. It was. Remember, I was like, well, I'm not going to tell them my client's name because they know that they're buying that other house. This is not working out. But what Jason wants, Jason gets, and we're going to go look at this house.
Yeah, so I bring Clint outside, and I said, listen, you're my blankety blank special advisor. I'm not comfortable with this deal. Find a way to get me out of it because they're ready to buy it.
Oh my gosh. And did he ever find you there?
Did he ever? We walk out to the back. Beautiful.
We're standing on the boathouse, right?
We're heading to the boathouse. And my special advisor says, hey, wait a minute. That's not a foot over into the neighbor's property. That's 10 feet over to the boathouse.
Which had nothing on what he found next.
Oh yeah, but you're looking at from the neighbor to the right, from their back door, and you look out.
It was in their yard.
Yeah, it's in their yard. You're seeing this person's boathouse. It's like they were like, this is such an awesome home that we don't want the boathouse to be
block the view.
Yeah, we want it, so we're going to put it in your yard. And somehow this neighbor was like, okay.
Which was so confusing because that lot was so big. There had to be some reason why. I
just knew there would be a lawsuit after I bought it.
There would have.
Okay.
And then you would have been calling me like it was my fault.
But we don't have enough evidence yet to terminate the deal that you and Christina are making. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, Clint, I'm about to have to buy this thing. It's more money than I'm comfortable. What are we going to do?
And don't forget, you're the one that pushed us to go look at this.
I am the one that pushed it.
You did this.
And Clint goes, wait a minute. I go, what? And he goes, I feel like I'm seeing an imbalance. Like, what are you talking about? He goes,
we thought he was drinking.
It appears that the left side of the home is leaning.
like falling off into the lake.
He doesn't say that. That was my narrative later. But he said, it looks like, and so what it turned out to be, there's this, it was a balcony to the master bedroom.
And the post was like this big to hold up a huge
these
balcony.
posts are like this big, and it's all this weight, and it was leaning, and only Clint could have found this.
It's so funny.
He finds this lean, and so we get back in the car. You're not in our car. You're in your car. Mm-hmm. The three of us, my special advisor in the front seat, Christina in the back, and we're heading to the house that we ultimately purchased. And I said, well, I'm trying to play it close to the vest. I'm like, Christina, what are your thoughts? And she goes, I am so sold on this home. She goes, I want this home so badly. And she actually says this, and I've not forgiven her.
Uh-oh.
Definitely not forgiven her. She said, this home makes that home being the home we ultimately purchased, look like a starter home.
But in her defense, from the pictures, you called it a starter home from the very beginning.
I did not call it
a
starter.
You did too.
I did not admit to that.
You did.
Those are her words.
No. You started that term.
Don't believe that. Don't believe that, people. So, and I said, so you're that, I mean, like, you're really in? She goes, oh, I'm really in. And I said, well, let me tell you something. I'm really out. I'm the one who found this thing in the first place. And I go, you got the right side of this house that's all the way in the neighbor's yard, the boathouse, right? Mm-hmm. And you got the left side of this house that's falling into the lake. And I go, I'm out. Clint, what do you think? And Clint's like,
let's go see the next one.
I have to side with Jason on this. I think that we need to be out on this home. And I'm like, that's the special advisor. And he's the tiebreaker.
Well, I think you went with the right one because the other one would have been a lot more maintenance. I mean, it was just a lot more house.
But we walk into the home we bought, which was like 2 years old.
And your face lit up.
And my face lights up.
I was holding my breath.
Oh,
and the
my
anxiety. The look on your face made my anxiety go away. Because I'm like, I really do feel like this is their home. I feel not, because the other home would have been great for everyday living. We're talking about a vacation weekend home. We're not talking about, you don't need 4,000 square feet.
Let me tell you something. This 2-bedroom.
Even though you got 4,000 square feet.
This 2-bedroom, 1-bath trailer home is fantastic.
Such a liar.
It's fantastic.
Such a liar. Such a liar.
The linoleum is wonderful.
Yeah, none of that is in your new, beautiful lake house.
So you guys are going to be our neighbors when?
Oh, gosh. Well, I don't know. We got to find the right one.
I sent you the right one.
Our budget's not the same as yours.
I sent you the right one yesterday.
Yes, that one was awesome. And I sent it to Dan. And so we need to go look at it. We need to get out there. We haven't had a weekend off in forever. These kids are taking up all of our time. My daughter's birthday party's this weekend. So hopefully the following week we can start looking, because I feel like it's slowed down a little bit for all of you people that are looking at lake houses. Let's go look now. I feel like it's slowed down a little bit. So, but yeah, we're ready. And Cedar Creek's where we want to be. So we just got to find the right one. I want a flipper. I want a flip house. The one that you sent me is great, but I'm going to want to rip it out anyways. It can't be already done.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, I hope y'all find a home.
I hope it's close to y'all.
Yeah, I hope you find one soon. And
if not, I'll just come crash at yours.
Yeah, you can come to ours. But having worked with me, through my wife, I've got to be considered a pretty good client.
Am I supposed to be nice because it's your podcast? No, you're awesome. I will tell you, we were at a softball game and you text me and then you were like, there's a problem with this contract. And I'm like, what? A lawyer looking at my contracts, it really makes, but then it wasn't anything to do. You were checking with something and it really wasn't anything a big deal. But the whole 45 minutes you didn't text me back, I was like, what did I do wrong? Because I write a really good contract. I've mastered the contracts. So I was really concerned, and you can ask Dan, because I was like pacing at the softball game and he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, Jason said there's something wrong with the contract. But other than that, no, you're pretty easy.
I'm pretty easy?
Yeah.
Okay. Did the seller think I was easy?
After we got done negotiating. I'm sure he thought you were awesome after we were done. No, and we got lucky. We had a really good seller. He left us everything we asked for pretty much.
Except the table for which I contracted his little bitty,
That $50 desk.
the $50 desk.
He said
$50 desk.
And he said he'd bring that $50
He
desk
did.
back.
And then I wanted to hold something over his head. So I said, no, you keep it down in Austin.
No, but if there's something wrong with this house, coming back for that $50 desk. And
all good.
you wanted a stand-up desk anyways, so it wouldn't have worked out for you.
No, yeah, I did want it. I wanted my stand-up desk, but my stand-up desk is not going in the home.
Because it's ugly.
You and my wife think it's ugly.
It is. It's very industrial.
Very industrial. Well, I hope so. I hope it's very nice. I have not received it yet.
No, you were awesome to work with. I'm sure you're just as awesome to work with. In your practice, it was great.
Well, thank you.
I was always scared when you called because I thought I did something wrong, but thankfully I didn't.
Jennifer Irwin, one of the best real estate agents around. I mean, and I mean that because
Super awesome. Thank
my
you.
wife, I know my wife's worked with you several times on properties, and so I always get roped into it.
Well,
and
your wife is amazing. She's super talented at decorating and design, and she's a blessing to have as a friend because I bounce ideas off of her because she's super talented.
But
she's blessed.
But you're the talented one because I watch you. I watch you lead these other opposing real estate agents right to the promised land, right to where we need to go, and you just know what you're doing. I mean, it's so obvious.
I've navigated through different situations many times, so I think I've mastered that.
Truly,
I hope I have.
You were born to do this.
Thank you. I feel the same.
You
I
really
love
were.
it. I don't feel like it's work. I'm lucky. I'm very blessed because I don't feel like I wake up to work every day.
For the
I like
few who don't know you, because you've been very involved in the city of McKinney, super involved.
I have. I love this community. You know, I moved here, right? I worked at an ad agency right out of college, and they downsized and gave me a great severance package. And I was visiting my aunt and uncle here and got a job offer, and I decided I'd come try it out for a couple of months, but it wasn't for me. I wanted more of the city life. This was a family community. I was too young for that. And it quickly became home. And I will never leave now. I love it.
Just a few of the things that you've done in terms of community involvement.
Gosh, I've done a lot. I helped start the McKinney Young Professionals when I first moved here. That was really cool. I don't even know if they'd invite me back now. I think I'm too old. I sat on the Serenity High board for, I think 10 years.
That's for youth with troubles.
With drug and alcohol addiction. So they get taken out of the normal school setting and they're more in a sober living community with their high school so that they can stay on track. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them end up not only staying sober, but graduating early. It's a great, great thing. If you don't know Neil and Lynn Sperry, they started that years and years ago, and great asset to our community. It not only serves McKinney, but it serves all of our surrounding communities too. So it's really a cool thing. And then let's see, right now I'm on the McKinney Education Foundation Board, which I absolutely adore. It supports McKinney ISD students and teachers. So we provide grants to the teachers so that they can get special things for their classrooms and scholarships for the kids, for the graduating seniors. So that's super awesome. I've been on the Children and Community Health Clinic. I served as president there for some time. Volunteer McKinney Center. I've kind of gone around the block in McKinney. I love serving the organizations here. Yeah. McKinney's a special place.
Jen Irwin, super realtor, and also hugely involved in the city of McKinney. It's been a pleasure. How do people, those very few who don't know you, how do they find you?
Call me, text me. I'm very much a texter though. So if you leave me a voicemail, it may be a few days before I get back to you, but text me 806-577-9922, or you can email me at Jen, Jen, Irwin, IRWIN @live.com.
Anything else that you want to get off your chest?
Well, you got me on camera today. I haven't thrown up yet. So we're doing all good here. And thank you for all that you do for McKinney. And thank you for having me today.
I enjoyed it.
Me too.
COVID fist bump.
Elbow bump. Air hugs. Yeah. I'm ready to hug again.
I know.
While I'm socially awkward, I do love a good hug.
I know. Me too. Thanks for the time.
Thank you so much.